back Hillman Curtis and David Byrne.
Can you address your question to either myself or Hillman and pose it in the form of a question? I've done this before, you can tell. I make ginger tea. That's my, you know how some, rock bands have like certain M&Ms that they want and all this stuff. I ask for a piece of ginger, lemon, and honey, and I spend just time like taking the skin off the ginger and slicing it, boiling water, and doing all that kind of thing. It's good for your throat, digestion, but I think it's more than that. It's a ritual, just to kind of do something quiet for 20 minutes before getting up there. That was great for me. I can't do quite as much jumping and leaping as they do, and as I used to do in the past. So they kind of bring the energy, and it kind of the little osmosis thing that happens. It almost appears that the whole show has the energy, even though it's them doing most of the running and jumping. So at some point in the editing, I remember saying to Hillman, "You can edit the songs if you." Because what the live experience is different than a film experience, and sometimes you want to condense it a little bit. So and basically I remember saying, you have the license to do this. What was the other part again?
It was improvisation.
Oh, the improvisation, the dancers, a little bit, but not that much, actually. Some of the stuff that they did, the thing with the chairs, that was all created out of improvisations. The choreographer on that one, Andy B. Parsons, had them gave them kind of the assignment, come back in a day or two with a bunch of different movements that you do with these chairs, gestures and things, and from that, they kind of piece together a thing and say, you'll do that here, you'll do that here, you'll do that here, you'll do all this together. And yeah, so it ends up being loose, but kind of created out of an improvisation, but the end result is kind of the same every night, which is, well, sometimes kind of great. And when it works, you still get a feeling from it when it works, even though you know that it's going to be the same every night. I can look over at Natalie and know she's going to be right there, and all that kind of stuff, which is, well, that's show business.
And you don't bump into each other.
Yes, that we don't collide with one another.
Hillman, can you give us a big picture of shooting this? How many different concerts were you shooting? How many different cameras? That sort of thing.
Well, we never went over 3 cameras, and some shows were 2 cameras, and luckily, the band was always dressed in white, so you could intercut it. It looked like a lot of different cameras, but sometimes we'd be on the stage on one show, kicking over lights and annoying the lighting designer, and then other times we'd just be static out in the audience. We had 3 cameras. And then it was just a matter of putting it all together.
And how many different shows did you have to choose from?
Well, the majority of the show, or the film, is based on a couple of shows in Europe, London and Edinburgh. But prior to that, we had shot maybe 6 shows, and we culled some of that footage. But and then of course the behind the scenes was a single camera. We shot it all on red cameras, and kept it simple. Tried to keep it simple as
That's a great idea. Like without seats. Yeah.
Should we move these seats out and just run the film one more time? I was just kidding.
No. I thought of it as being danceful, like when you go out and dance in a club or dance at home or wherever it is you dance. I didn't think of it as being kind of contemporary dance, like what these choreographers and dancers are doing, and that was kind of a wild shot. Just kind of thinking, what if it goes this way, and they put what they already do onto what we're doing? How will that mesh? There was a nice, I got from the dancers and choreographers, there were lots of nice comments after we did the initial shows, and they were saying that there's no audience for contemporary dance, or it's very, very small. And they're saying that what we're doing in your show is exactly the same as we would do at our, dance performances, but nobody comes. And I'm not giving myself credit. I'm just saying, well, it's because they just put the same thing in a new context. Well, I guess what I'm saying is the audience was in these shows was loving what the dancers were doing, but they wouldn't, that same audience wouldn't go to see a dance performance. But you put it in a new context, put that same stuff in a new context with music and stuff in it, and all of a sudden it's completely accessible, which was that's kind of an illuminating lesson for me and for the dancers and choreographers. I think they all thought, maybe there's a way out of our little ghetto, our little dance ghetto. Not by compromising what we do in any way, but by just putting it in different contexts.